West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to the Red Devil recap and the Red Devil experience. Here we are again. We're back again. I know that's an Arsenal thing. Don't get mad at me. But yep. Toothless, spineless United. Back again. Not clinical enough, not good enough, too slow. And this is gonna be all season. I know some of y'all are holding out for some hope that things are gonna change, and it's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. This is gonna be all season. We're not gonna make top four. There's absolutely zero chance, and I'm gonna call it now. There's zero chance we make top four. And there is we're fighting for top six, for sixth place right now. That's what we're fighting for, and that in itself is a struggle. It's not looking good. And this is the situation we find ourselves in. Some United fans need to wake the fuck up. They're still living in La La Land. I don't really understand, where what their thinking is. I went on Twitter at halftime, and I see United fans arguing, put on Rashford and for Garnacho. Rashford came on for Hoyland, and what the fuck did Rashford do? Nothing. I don't understand how we're still having this basic level of conversations. The team isn't good enough. The team should have never got third place. The team should have had this season last season, and this season, who knows what it would have been. But it didn't happen that way. We overachieved last season. Ten Hag saying we're underachieving this season. I think slightly, because I think with the players that we have, we should be playing better. We should be getting better results. An argument for are we a top four team? I don't think so. I don't think we have the quality of players. And it's the same old story, never changing. And to anybody that's holding out hope that we're going to get some type of reinforcements in January, I mean, again, you're living in deluded land. When has United done any good business besides Bruno Fernandes in January? We don't do business. We're run like a business. Go look at any company in the entire world. They don't spend money in the first quarter, and that's exactly why Manchester United don't do business. We had our COO come out the other day and said that they never do business in January, and they stick to that, and they do it in the summer. And it's a bunch of bullshit, because when it gets to the summer, they do shit business. So what is the point of not doing business in January to focus on the summer? It's all a bunch of PR bullshit. It's because they don't want to spend money in January because it's the first quarter and they run it like a business. Now, if they came out and said we're not spending any money in the first quarter because we're a business and we need to look, pay attention to our financials, the fans would have a fucking meltdown. But the fans should have a fucking meltdown now anyway, because we're a disgrace, and it's not good enough, and everybody's gonna everybody focuses too much energy and too much time criticizing this player and that player, and they don't look at the big problems. They refuse because it's boring, or it's something that they feel like there's no influence. Like if they feel like if they criticize a player enough, they'll get dropped or they get sold. Like I don't understand this. I don't understand this. We need to be going at the necks of the people at the top of the club every single day, at every game, and putting pressure on them, because that's what matters. Whether that'll change something or not, I don't know. Probably not, but still, what are we focusing on? I mean, I have a quote here from Peter Schmeichel that I just seen, and it's, I think, dead on, and one of the only people that will come out and has actually said something real and not bullshit. He said, there are too many players in that MUFC team that do not deserve to play for Manchester United. And he's 110% correct. 110% correct. There's players in this squad. They are not good enough. They should not be playing. One of them is Scott McTominay. I don't know what Eric Ten Hag, why he has this sudden obsession over Scott McTominay. I suspect it's because Scott McTominay, I'm pretty sure, is our leading goal scorer. And that right there tells you a problem because we overpaid for a kid that I like very much, Rasmus Højlund, but we overpaid. The club overpaid once again. Eric Ten Hag didn't overpay. Eric Ten Hag didn't make the wrong call. All right? Because it was revealed in the article that was written yesterday from Laurie Whitwell. If you didn't read it in The Athletic, you have to go read it. As a Manchester United fan, whatever you need to do, go read it. Because it explains to you exactly what we've been talking about. The incompetence in that club above the manager is rotten. It's awful. It's garbage. And it is like 85% of our fucking problems. And until that shit gets sorted out, changing a manager or bringing in a player or two and removing a player or two isn't going to change anything for this club. It's not going to make us a title contender. It's not going to make us fucking competitive. And until the United fans learn this, we're going to be stuck in the same cycle because people refuse to look at the bigger picture and they want to focus everything on the manager. And then all the blame goes on the manager. And you know what happens when the fans put all the blame on the manager? The Glazers get away with it. John Murtaugh gets away with it. Richard Arnold gets away with it, even though he's not here anymore, but he was in charge. Any of those other people in there that shouldn't be at the position that they're in, they all get away with it because all the blame goes on the manager, and then they release shit and they throw him under the bus, and it's all his fault. It's all his fault. Don't worry. It was all the bald man's fault. The evil bald man that risked his career to come here to try and make something out of this fucking shit run club, right? It's all his fault. He's the bad man. So let's get rid of the bad man and lighten up the place a little bit, and things will be fine. Things will be fine. And then a year and a half down the road, you know what? This guy's not fucking good either. He's not good either, dude. He's a bad guy too. He's a bad guy too. He has fights with players. He's not playing certain players. Why isn't he playing my favorite player? It's keep going in the same cycle. I have no sympathy for certain fans in our fan base anymore. I have no sympathy. And I'm gonna start calling you out. There's a guy on Twitter, United Ellis. This guy spews absolute nonsense and bullshit. Was crying for Rashford to come on the pitch, talking about Højlund isn't going to score a goal until Sancho comes back in the team. Hey, dickwad. Sancho should never touch a United kid again. All right? The fact that you want him back in the team, the fact that you even think that bringing him back in the team would solve the problem when he is part of the problem. He's one of the players that Peter Schmeichel, not that he's talking about, but he fits what Peter Schmeichel's saying. That guy doesn't deserve to play for Manchester United. Scott McTominay shouldn't be there either. Absolutely not. Scott McTominay wouldn't get into fucking West Ham's midfield. And David Moyes loves that motherfucker. And he wouldn't play him. He wouldn't be starting at West Ham right now in that midfield. All West Ham's midfield players are better than Scott McTominay. Yet he starts for us. Yet he starts in the position of Bruno Fernandes. And that's a criticism on Ten Hag because he doesn't have to play Scott McTominay. He tried to sell Scott McTominay. He didn't want Scott McTominay. And now, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, and I suspect it's because we can't score goals and somehow McTominay can score a goal, right? But that's all he's good for, is he can score a goal. And if he doesn't score a goal, he's contributed absolutely nothing. And he was a waste of time, a waste of space, and hurt the team in the team's performance. So, we're just gonna keep going around in the same cycle, and I'm gonna keep saying it every single show until something changes. Nothing at this club will improve until we change the hierarchy above the manager. We don't have any football people in charge. We don't have anybody with balls. We don't have anybody that's smart in these areas. There's no leadership above Ten Hag, especially right now, bro. Because Sir Jim's coming in, everything is in fucking limbo. We don't have a CEO. We don't have a proper CEO. The interim CEO wasn't fit for his previous role. He's definitely not fit to be interim CEO. You know, the CEO, I don't even know this lady. I don't like her. She comes out and makes statements talking about we always focus on transfers in the summer and we never really do business in January and we stick to that plan. I mean, that's a load of bullshit. That's a load of bullshit. You know what that is? That's her saying this club is run like a business. We are a business, and as a business, we don't spend money in quarter one. And if you don't know this concept yet, which I feel like most people do, but some people probably don't, go look at any big company, right? They don't spend money in quarter one. It's something that you just don't do as a business. And what does Manchester United do? We never spend money in January. And they tell you, oh, because we're focusing on the summer. And then when the summer comes, what do? They take a shit on themselves. They take forever to get the targets. They don't get the targets that they're supposed to. They overpay for targets. It's complete nonsense. It's complete incompetence. It's just completely shit. And that's why this club is shit. Right? And what pisses me off more is that, like, obviously the rivals don't get it, but it's really fucking annoying to have to constantly try and explain it to these people because they don't understand how fucking bad this club is run. And they look at it from the outside and they just like, dude, you guys are fucking garbage. And it's like, yeah, but like, we shouldn't be because we have the fan base, we have the resources, we make the money. We shouldn't be this bad. But luckily for them and unlucky for us, we have the worst owners in fucking history. And they do everything in their power to fuck our club. Everything. As long as it benefits them, their pockets, and the dividends, and the fucking stock market, they do it. They do nothing, absolutely nothing to help this club. They do nothing to help us be better on the pitch. They do absolutely nothing. And this is another thing, and I'm going to keep talking about it, and I don't care. People could come and say, you know, the Glazers don't play on the pitch. The Glazers spend money, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. First of all, it's our money. The Glazers haven't spent a fucking penny. Haven't spent a penny. A penny. None. Right? On top of that, the selfishness and the greed, and you can see the lack of care that they have for the actual results of this football club and for the fans, that they've been doing this sale for over a fucking year now. They've been dragging it out because it benefits them to drag it out because they want to fucking argue about every little detail instead of getting these guys in and making the changes that is necessary, that should have been done after Ferguson. And they went a different route because they went all commercial. Right? And this is why we are where we are, because they threw all the football people out as soon as Ferguson retired and they went full commercial because they wanted to sell the fucking brand, and that's all they focused on, and that's the people that they had, that's all they were good at. I mean, Ed Woodward is way over his head, in terms of running the football aspect of the club. He was a fucking commercial guy. He was a banker. Some might say he was the other word with a W. And I would agree. But, you know, Richard Arnold, no better. John Murtaugh shouldn't be there. You know, and especially the Laurie Whitwell article. You have to read that article. I mean, it was a disgrace. But actually, I have an excerpt from it that I wanted to read, and I was gonna bring it in at some point, right? So here, as an example, right? Atalanta told Højlund he could leave for £50 million in the summer, and United communicated to Atalanta that they would draw the line at £60 million. But then, somehow, or for whatever reason, they agreed a fee worth £72 million during all-day talks in Bergamo that lasted until 3 a.m. Atalanta had demanded £86 million for a player they signed for less than $15 million just 11 months ago. So Atalanta told Hoyland he can leave for 50 million. United said, well, we're not willing to pay over 60. And they paid 72 million. And you want this club to succeed? You want this club to be good? How? How can you be good when you operate like that? That's mentally insane. It's mentally insane. How did you end up paying 72 million for a player that the club told the player you can leave for 50? You overpaid 22 million. 22 million is another fucking player. So for everybody that wants to say, we shouldn't have spent the money on Onana, but these guys are overspending money left and right, and then they're complaining that we don't have money, and then they're complaining about financial fair play, and it's like, how are you doing these deals? How? These people should not be there, and they need to change. They need to be changed, and until they're changed, we're not going to change, and it's going to keep going, and this is why I can't even get furious anymore, because it's the same old shit, and nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change until we change those people. You change those people, then those people start making changes below them. You change, if you have to, you change the manager. Definitely change the players. Definitely change the way, that we bring players in, the philosophy, the scope of players, the age, and all that shit. All of that has to change. But it starts at the top and it comes down. And for whoever anybody disagrees with that, doesn't like it, you're wrong. Because that's how everything fucking works. Especially in big businesses, corporations, football clubs. It starts from the top and it comes down. Right? And if you don't have a good top, the bottom is fucking shit and everything falls apart and the whole thing fucking comes crumbling down. And that's what we've been doing for 10 years. There was even the whole thing about Anthony. There was a piece that said Ten Hag undoubtedly wanted to sign Anthony, but sanctioning the outlay came from above. Those with an understanding of United's structure say several directors are involved in checks and balances, which is why we take fucking 7 years to do a transfer. Only club that's set up like this, by the way, because no other club takes this long. During a transfer window, including Chief Financial Officer Cliff Batty and General Counsel Patrick Stewart, which I don't even know these two guys. I don't know what the fuck they do. What's their responsibility? Who are they? What's their background? They have football background. I doubt it. Who are these guys in terms of the game of football? Who are they? What have they ever done? And they're here. They're in charge, making decisions on players. And Patrick Stewart is the interim chief executive. I mean, this guy, he whatever general counsel is, he shouldn't even be there. Because clearly he's bad at his job. And now he's acting CEO. It's fucking madness. So this is why I can't even say Ten Hag out of fucking, what do you want? It's an absolute disaster. And then on top of that, Joel Glazer, who lives in the United States, is the final sign-off guy. So after all that fucking work is done, you still have to get in touch with Joel Glazer, tell him, and then Joel Glazer has to sit there and fucking think about what decision he's gonna make. So that takes a couple more days, maybe a fucking week, 2 weeks. I don't know how busy that guy is or how much he cares. But yeah, it's a disaster and it's never gonna change. But on the match, first half, I know how we didn't score, but we should have scored. We were the better team. We were definitely the better team in the first half. I think West Ham didn't even play very good. I was saying, I'm like, West Ham aren't even that good. They're not even playing that good. We gotta go score. And we just yet again another match. And it's been all season. We are not clinical enough. For all the arguments of we don't create many chances. I mean, maybe for our striker, yeah, but in the match, in terms of individual players having chances, we do create chances, but they are just not clinical. They do not put it in the fucking net. And if you don't put the ball in the net, the ball gets put in the net on you, and you lose the match. You need to score to win. Our goal difference is -5, and that's literally because we don't score goals, which is why we lose matches. Uh, and this is one of the big mysteries that I don't understand, because we had this problem last season as well. We had a hard time scoring goals. We struggled scoring goals, and it's gotten even worse. Rashford was carrying us a bit. He had a phenomenal season last season. This guy can't score a goal to save his mother's life. He can't score a goal to save his own life. He couldn't. He can't score a goal to save a little puppy. And it's not just him. Nobody can. You know, so it's not going to improve. Top four is done. Top four is done. We're fighting for top six. Um, you know, and there's going to be fans. I don't know what's worse. Europa League, and we get some European money, and play Thursday, Sunday, um, every week next year, or you miss out on Europe altogether. We lose more money, right? Um, and we're already financially fucked, and then you go from there. And I don't know, what kind of players we're gonna get in the summer. Um, People are obviously they're gonna come and call for Ten Hag's head, and I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. I really, really, even if we're in like 15th place, I'm not calling for his head, bro, because changing him won't matter until we make the changes that need to be changed. So I want to see those changes first, and then I will focus on the manager after. But hierarchy, players, manager. That's what needs to be dealt with. Until that's dealt with, we're just gonna continue to be shit for the rest of the season, and it is what it is. Um, and only dummies are surprised that this keeps happening. I mean, it's pretty fucking clear and obvious. VAR. No, but yeah, it's pretty clear and obvious. What our fucking problems are. And there should be no expectation of any of this being turned around. Um, as much as we miss Lisandro Martinez, I think even bringing Lisandro Martinez isn't gonna fucking save us. I feel like we've gone too far deep down into the shit now. If we got Martinez back 2 months ago, maybe. If we still had Casemiro, maybe, because maybe it would have just been different. But I feel like we've kicked out of Europe deflates the team. Playing performances like this and doing stuff like that deflates the team even further. And I don't think the players coming back is enough to inflate the team to bring them up to a fourth. Also, I expect all these other teams that are actually run like a football club, which is most of the league except for us, they're going to strengthen in January, and we're not going to really strengthen in January, and we're going to fall even more behind. So, yeah, once again, the Glazers, Manchester United, have written off the season. They've written off the season. They are prepared to throw the manager under the bus again, and they are willing to do that too, so they can walk away and say, put all the blame on the manager, when it is fucking 90% their fault. So I will not have any of that. We had some other shit. I just wanted to check. Yeah, Manchester United have lost 20 games in all competitions in 2023, their most in a calendar year since losing 20 games in 1989. And if you want to make it more interesting, We could do that. I will look up where Manchester United finished in the league in 1989 so we could just see. And we finished in 1989, the 1988 to 1989 season. Manchester United finished in 11th place. We're pretty much there. We have to play Villa. We have to play Good Evening on Boxing Day, and we're playing away from home. I think we're playing away from home. We're playing away from home. No, we are home. All right, we're playing home, but still, we have to play Good Evening. I don't see how we beat them. I think they beat us. So that's an L. And if Brighton decide that they want to win a match, they will go ahead of us. They will jump us going into the new year, and we'll be in 9th place. So, and then depending on what Chelsea does, I mean, Chelsea still has to play, but Chelsea's on 22 points. We're on 28. I expect to stay on 28. And then depending on what Chelsea does, Chelsea could be within 3 points of us. Or they could be on par because Chelsea is behind the match, right? So if Chelsea win, they'll have 25. They'll be 3 points behind now. And then when we go to play Villa, we lose. We'll stay on 28. And if Chelsea win again, they'll have 28. And they'll go ahead of us because they have a better goal difference. We're on -5 and they're on +2. So there's no positivity. This season is dead. And I would implore Eric Ten Hag to stop playing fucking Scott McTominay. Stop playing him. He's useless. He's a waste of time. I don't understand why he's fucking playing him. I don't understand how he thinks that midfield works. It definitely, certainly does not work. The midfield that everybody knows will work, except for him, or I think he knows it, but he's just refusing to fucking do it because the lack of goals, he's trying to get a goal from McTominay, but that's completely insane to risk the entire team to get this one guy to try and score a goal because we're not scoring goals. I mean, don't you think like if you had the proper midfield, the goals will come? Because for me, the midfield right now currently has to be Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, and Amrabat. And then obviously when Casemiro comes back, Casemiro, Bruno, and Mainoo. That's who I would be playing. Scott McTominay should never start again for the rest of the season. Bench player comes on, lasts like 15, 20 minutes. We need a goal or something, take out a more defensive guy and throw him up top and get the crowd the box and all that. So that's what that is. I know Kobe made a mistake for the second goal. Lapse in concentration. This is the risk that you run with playing kids. It happens. They're young. They're more prone to be making mistakes. I can't criticize the kid too much. I mean, he knows he can't do that. He knows he fucked up. That it's an unacceptable mistake, but I mean, he's literally been one of our best players over the course of the past like 5-6 matches or whatever it is. So there's way more other players to be criticized over him, and I don't believe in criticizing our youth players like that, especially when our fans beg for these kids to play, and then something like that happens, and then they want to fucking stab them in the back. These kids are trying to help us. They're trying more than some of our senior players. They deserve to be playing more than some senior players, and I refuse to do that to them because, in all honesty, I don't even think this is a proper environment for kids to be playing all these matches. Our fans don't have patience. Our fans don't have understanding. Everybody wants a quick fix. You've been asking for the quick fix for fucking 10 years. And if you took the long fix 7 years ago, shit would be fixed. And you're still asking for a quick fix, and it's never gonna come because there's no quick fix to fix all of our problems. We have way too many problems. The problems are way too big, and that shit's never gonna change. So I will continue to protect our young players. I refuse to have a go at them like some people that I see. And our fan base needs to change our ways. Our fan base needs to change some of our mentality. They have to change their attitude because it stinks. I'm just gonna call it out. We have some fantastic fans. We have a large portion of our fan base absolutely fantastic. Away fans always, um, always there to support. Always loud, always making themselves heard. I heard them on the television today. Supporting. They do a fantastic job. We have some very dedicated and loyal fans, but some of our fans, their attitude and their mentality stinks just as much as the players' attitude and mentality. So just remember when you're having a go at the players' mentality and attitudes. Some of these people, they need to look in the mirror and maybe say it to themselves because they're on the same level. I don't agree with a lot of shit they have to say. I mean, at halftime, I was literally on Twitter and I see a bunch of idiots saying, take Garnacho off, bring on Rashford. Um, and they're saying, oh, well, if Rasmus can make the correct runs, I mean, dude, that's like microscopic fucking problems. Why are we not moving the ball fast enough? Why do none of the players understand how to move the ball properly? Why do none of the players have any vision when they have the ball? Why do they not have any knowledge what to do with the ball when it's in their feet? Now you could blame it on the coaching, but again, I will have the argument with anybody, right? That you can only lead that expression. You can only lead the horse to water. You can't make the horse drink it. The players are the horse. Ten Hag has led them to water more than once. And you know what the players refuse to do? Drink the fucking water. And now they're dying of dehydration and thirst. And they still won't drink the fucking water. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Tie them down and pour the fucking water down the throat? I mean, maybe you could do that in that situation, but you can't do it in football. You know? You can't do it in football. The players need to do it on the pitch. But they don't understand. They don't have the capabilities, and they're not good enough. So, yeah. United ruining another weekend. Definitely gave us coal for Christmas. That certainly wasn't a fucking Christmas present. I'll tell you that much. But yep. Probably going to be making another video on Christmas Day. Just to give you guys out there some content on Christmas. I know, some people, they don't have families. Sometimes the day is kind of long. You're waiting for something to happen. And there's a couple things that I really want to talk more in depth about. So I plan on making one on Christmas, and then obviously we play Villa Boxing Day. So we're gonna have a Red Devils recap after the match on Boxing Day for sure. And if anything else major breaks, the Sir Jim deal is not expected to be done today, tomorrow, or anytime in the next week or so. Supposedly it's supposed to be after the new year has started now. So unless that changes and something is announced or whatever, obviously we'll be there for that as well, and we'll give our thoughts and opinions on that. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here for my therapy session. I need to get all that out. Um, Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Makes a big difference. Really does help, especially the likes. Please. And thank you. Leave your comments down below. Opinions, thoughts, anything you want. Leave them down below. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Please. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, day. Have a good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from. We'll be bringing you another one for sure. Until then, enjoy yourselves and have a merry Christmas, and I will see you on Christmas. But anyway, have a merry Christmas and a good day, and we'll see you later. All right, thank you guys.